Hello everybody. This is Beast Dagger on the microphone, and welcome to another Brood War Weekly. We go into week number 7. Today I have a lot of fun planned for the community games today, and I've just been really excited to get to that part of the segment in my show. So last week Cryox sent me 3 replays, and pretty much until just about a minute ago, Spaniard was the other person who sent me a replay for the Fun Day Monday version of the show. But since Cryox sent me those over a week ago, I do want to get those replays watched and viewed and show them to you. So we're going to jump into those right away. And I think that could be a lot of fun. And if you guys are not aware, the Fun Day Monday on Tuesday is going to be 3 base before gas. So you have to take all 3 bases before you can actually start mining any Vespene gas from any of your 3 bases. You could take more than 3 before you get your gas. You could take 4, 5, 6, however you want to do it, but you absolutely have to get that 3. So let me remove the image from the screen, take the starting soon away, and let's go. It looks like I duplicated one of the reps here. I wonder if they're the exact same. Could be. Oh well, let's go into this one and see how it goes here. So it looks like we are going to have Cryox, who's a Terran player. If you guys aren't familiar with Cryox, he has a lot of fun games in a lot of the recent tournaments. He's one of the better Terrans in the foreign scene, and so I expect to see some really good games from him. So it looks like we do have this speed set up correctly here. And then this is going to be a TVT. So Zedek, I don't know. Let's go with Les. Is going to be this bottom right Terran player. And like I said again, if you guys do like to play StarCraft and you want to be on the live stream, just go ahead and join. That's going to be probably even before 7 o'clock Eastern time. So just hang in here as we watch these replays first. And it looks like the first expansion is about to come up. And Cryox is actually putting a supply depot out here. I was looking at the mineral count, or I was looking at the APM count instead of the minerals. So it's going to be interesting to see how fast Cryox decides to go for an additional command center, since he has to get the 3 of them before he can get those gas units. But it could also force him to go for a marine heavy type build early on to kind of deal with any pressure that Les will come up with. If Les goes for fast vultures, that could be a really difficult position here. And throwing down a barracks right away, so playing a little bit of a safer build is Les is going to play here. And another barracks out at the front at the natural for Cryox, who's setting himself up for this ability to build a command center inside of his natural base. And I wonder if this supply depot right here, I think Cryox would be intelligent enough to know if you put one more supply depot here, it will block it off. And SCV is actually coming out probably to scout. I wouldn't imagine that he'd be camping it here at the 3rd. So let's see if I call everything wrong here. And what do we got here? A supply depot coming down at the 3rd base. So I guess he's building infrastructure at 2 different places to expand to. Just to make sure he's extra safe here. Now, Les, our Orange Terran, has actually not decided to explore with an SCV quite yet. And is this going to be a scouting SCV, or will a command center come down here? So no, now the SCV is out, and this is going to be really important, is Les going to have the capabilities to understand what kind of build Crack is going for. Obviously this isn't standard, so it should really throw him off and make him think a lot about what is going on, especially if he comes up here and scouts at the third. So the command center is down inside the natural base. A Marine is going to come out at the front. The Marine should be able to just chase down this SCV, and oh my god, that was a really nice block here. I thought the SCV could have made it through, and oh, that juke though. Les is playing on top of it right now. 246 APM, doing a decent job, even though there's not too much you need to control at this time. He's still on top of it, and taking out that SCV inside the main base also. So the barracks is on its way to float towards Cryok's base, and that's just going to be a really important scouting, basically a scouting building here. So one barracks is done, and is another command center going to be coming up here? It looks like we're about 20 minerals now, and now it's time for the third SCV to plop down. I wonder how strict Cryok is going to be though. Is he going to wait for that third command center to finish before he builds that refinery? Because that would be ballsy, and that's what I expect from this type of challenge on the Fun Day Monday on Tuesday. So looks like the SCV, another SCV is going to be coming in here probably to build a second supply depot here and complete that wall off, which will help defend against Vulture play. But this is very interesting now because 2 starports are coming up. Gas has been mined this whole time for Les. Meanwhile, gas still hasn't even been started. Okay, so officially there is a gas inside of the main base, and I would say, okay, I'll give this an A for an A level grading because he did have the command center halfway done before he went for the refinery. And I wonder if he would be able to even survive. He needs Crack needs to continue to make a lot of Marines to be able to deal with this. This Wraith pressure is going to be incredibly difficult. And fortunately though, with just minerals, you can get an academy and the Consat station. So that shouldn't have been trouble if Crack was smart. Or you could just build from the engineering bay. You could get turrets to defend against Wraiths, but turrets really aren't something you're going to get this early in the game in a TVT unless Cryok was able to scout out that this was going to be a Wraith, one base Wraith build. The additional commands that are coming up for Les, he does have to think about transitioning behind this harassment here, and this is going to be crazy. Les is going to probably be scrambling to try and figure out what the hell is going on when there is nothing inside of this main base. You'd expect to see at least a factory or two if this was going to be a normal meching build. Especially since there's more starports in this base than there are factories in Cryok's. But here comes the pressure. And this bunker is really far out, and it's not going to help at all. Generally, if you build a bunker inside of your natural base, it would be a little bit more helpful because you would have the Marines to attack the Wraiths and then retreat to the bunker whenever it's getting focused. Now these SCVs are going to be in a little bit of trouble. The 4 Marines do come out here and start initiating the attack. One of the Wraiths does go down, and that's very sloppy control by Les, who is going to have more Wraiths coming to reinforce too at this time. Now it looks like Les losing a little bit more control again, and this continued Marine production is going to be so important right now. Meanwhile, not making a crucial decision to figure out what units need to be taken out with these Wraiths. Targeting down that building SCV is definitely one of the good ones here. And then an armory in the background. So it looks like Goliaths are going to be the go-to if Cryok can actually finish constructing this armory here. And there is an engineering bay that's about to finish. Fortunately, Wraiths are so slow at doing damage here. And Les is going to have to pull them back. There is an academy being built also, and he knows that a mixture of turrets and getting the Consat stations is going to be so important. But this third is actually paying off pretty well. It's been unharassed, and these Wraiths aren't doing that much economic damage. Targeting down a supply depot is not necessarily the best usage of his time here. And wasting cloak too. So now these Wraiths have no energy. They can't cloak. And that's going to be a problem. So this is actually tolerable. even if he ends up losing the supply depot, which I assume Cryok will, he can continue to build supply depots inside of this third base or inside of his main. And it looks like these were either taken out or canceled here. But more supply depots are being built inside of the main base. I would be nervous by not having just one more additional turret. Since it only costs 75 minerals, what is the lasting effect? Especially when Cryok has 100 or 800 minerals already. So kind of a decent bank built up so he could switch into his mech form. And Wraiths are continuing to come out for Les, but I feel like he's not building them fast enough. Additional starport should be built. And what are these SCVs doing? You see, he's focusing so hard on this attack that he's actually not putting himself economically in the best position, and production-wise, he's not putting himself in the best position. And using these Wraiths to scout pretty wisely here, he actually lost that barracks. That's the only thing I can conclude, because I can't see the barracks anywhere on the map. And the crummy thing is, he does have to rebuild the barracks here before he can get any more factories to help out. So he's confined to the 2 factories, although he can continue to build starports. These cloaked Wraiths are low in numbers, and now we're looking at 6 factories for Cryok off 3 bases. This is just going to be an insane amount of production getting ready to kick in. And these SCVs, looks like he may have too many. I think he has one too many SCVs on this refinery, but that's okay. He's just trying to keep what he has alive inside of this natural base. We'll be losing this barracks if he can't pick off this last Wraith here. Unfortunately, Cryok does save it, which will allow him to get more factories and, of course, end up rolling over Les, who just, I think, is going to lose control of this game very quickly. These Wraiths aren't getting into action at all. There is another factory being built, so he is trying to transition into mech, and it's not happening at all. So we can see that a Marine and a tank are coming to reinforce this choke point here, but it's just one tank. These Goliaths actually could run their way in. One of them getting taken off. What you want to do is maybe like run one of your Goliaths in this location here. Meanwhile, sneak your tanks up right on this ledge and siege up to kind of gain back your territory and possibly damage these tanks here. So what Cryok did instead was send his SCVs to absorb the damage. And that's actually not a bad usage of his SCVs. He's got quite a few of them off these 3 bases. And it's crucial to keep these Goliaths alive because the Wraith numbers are continuing to increase for Les. And with the Constat station now, he can reveal the Wraiths. It's not going to be an issue at all. So let's do a Constat count. He has 1, 2, 3, constantly getting energy. It's not going to be trouble. He's about to have 3 scans with just 1 Constat station, so totally cool situation for Cryok. Meanwhile, Les is going to be scrambling for this 3rd base because it's going to be oh so important for him. The bank is getting really high for Les too. Oh, when you're over that 1,000 count without being maxed out, and look at his supply, 52 supply, and without any harassment, he is down. He is sitting at 52. So it's clearly just a macro crisis for Les. Meanwhile, Cryok, he's at 116. It's about to explode even more. And I think this all comes down to the fact that he could only macro out of these 2 refineries, and he's so far behind on not refineries, factories. He's so behind on the factory count. Sitting only at 3 is not going to be sufficient enough. When you just look inside this base, you go, who do you think is going to win here? It's obvious. It's not even a matter of, you could put the Terran bases into Flash's hands, and this is just an unrecoverable position for Cryok's opponent here. So this is going to be really good for him. He might as well just A-move while these tanks aren't sieged. And I'm expecting a GG pretty quickly here. Now that the SCVs are getting pulled off the line, no way that they can engage. And that's going to be an easy win for Cryok, going for the 3 base before gas. So not bad. Alright, and we will be going into game number 2 very shortly. Just give me a second to get prepared. All right, everybody. This is going to be game number 2 of our Fun Day Monday on Tuesday, and we are pretty much featuring Cryok this week because he sent me in some great replays here with this 3 base expand before gas. So I'm excited to be here with you guys today. I'm BC Dagger on the microphone. Welcome to the world of StarCraft Brood War. I hope you guys are having a tolerable Tuesday. I have had one myself. And it is official, later this week I will be operating the gun that is attached to an Apache helicopter. So fear for my life and fear for the lives of others after I train the military in the ultimate usage of weaponry. Speaking of Terran weapons, we have Cryok up here at the top left-hand corner. This is going to be on Fighting Spirit. Meanwhile, we have Young who is going to be at the bottom left as a Protoss player. So Young Triple G, what is he going to do in response to this 3 base timing that Cryok is going to be rolling out? Game number 1 with TVT with Cryok was really awesome. I enjoyed the fact that he just his economy blew up with an unpunished 3 base Terran against a 1 base starport, double starport Terran that slowly transitions, slowly gets wraiths. Cryok held so beautifully. You can tell why he is one of the top Terran players in the foreign scene. So this probe is starting to make it towards the main base of Cryok, and it will not give him any early information to say, hey, this guy is doing the Fun Day Monday on Tuesday. And hello there to Apocalypse. Welcome and thank you for joining in the Brood War Weekly number 7. Can you believe I have done 7 weeks of this Brood War Weekly so far? And it has been exciting every day. So you are going to be wondering, oh man, this Protoss assimilator, it's going to be building on the building on the refinery. The laughable part is this actually doesn't matter, because Young doesn't realize that Cryok is actually going to be building 2 more command centers before he gives a rat's ass about that, about building a refinery there. So Cryok, he is on his mission to scout out his opponent, realizing very quickly here, oh, I did not see the base. Now, one thing that I hate about pros and when they play is sometimes they scout to just right here where they're out of vision. Like the vision cutoff would be right here, and they stop right there, and then they don't see it, and they think, oh, well, I better stop and be a very efficient scouter. And I like that Cryok went into the view of this refinery, which will indicate that you should have seen a Nexus. So if you guys aren't familiar, there was a Sonic Pro League game where bad scouting happened. I think Shuttle was the guy who had the bad scouting in that matchup. Actually, it could have been Sonic Star League. It could have been Sonic Star League or Sonic Pro League. I can't remember. But it was definitely Shuttle, and unfortunately, he scouted wrong. Went for this 2-gate in the middle sort of attack, but ended up losing eventually because he just, you know, total mental error. So it looks like there is a probe returning to the base, and we're looking at the natural. What we saw in the last game in the TVT is a double supply depot barracks wall off, which was a more safe build in TVT. You just don't want to lose to some early vulture harassment or some sort of weird marine mech push. And in this one, I think that Cryok is just going all out ballsy, maybe just kind of gauging out his opponent and knowing that he is the better player and that he should be able to get away with building a 3rd command center at this 12 o'clock position. So there is a Dragoon out, and that Dragoon does have its marching orders to go and attack at the front line here. And look how outward this bunker is. Now, a lot of the pro players will build their bunker right here in the range of this command center. And something that I actually like about this bunker being at this location so close to the bridge is it cuts off this location here for an SEV or for a probe that tries to make it through and scout in this direction. It also will make it kind of a difficult decision if you want to rush a Dragoon forward. The advantage of building the bunker here, though, is that you can reinforce it with supply depots, and you can repair much more easily on this bunker, so you could keep it alive. So there's a trade-off for where you build it But Cryok's decision is he has a third. He's going to have to defend the both anyway. So put it in a more advantageous position where it's going to split the defenses to both sides. And immediately these Dragoons are pulling back. Let's see the status of that range upgrade. It is about to finish. And if Young Gagaga is going to be in a good position here, he should be able to hold position these Dragoons. And that is why you do the wall off. And, you know, regardless of why I like this bunker here, it does make it quite a bit more difficult when these Dragoons can just waltz their way in here. But with the SCV control and these Marines coming in here, now actually Young puts himself at a disadvantage because his army count is actually depleted. So it's crazy to see how the advantage is there, that only a few SCVs got taken out, but the army is going to be so important for Young early on here because he really doesn't have anything. And Cryok's army is about to just explode. He does have the refinery mining inside of his main base. He could pick up his natural and his third too. I do agree. SCVs are very strong against Dragoons also. They have high health, which makes it very difficult for them to get killed off. So, you know, this is going to be a transition for Young into a Reaver drop play. But the thing is, off 3 bases, well, there are 2 things. Either the Reaver drop can be really effective because Cryok is spread out and he can't handle the pressure of defending at 3 bases. Or on the other hand, because he has 3 bases, if the damage does not get done with these Reavers, the tech investment put Young so far behind. He hasn't even invested into a natural base. He's just getting his Nexus now, but there's no probes mining from this mineral line, no additional simulator too. So the damage has to get done for Young early on here, and quickly this bunker will end up dying. If he can focus it down. Oh, okay, I thought he was not going to be able to get that bunker. But the SCVs come out again, and without microing these goons back, Cryok might be able to get another kill just with these SCVs, but he should pull them back. There's no help with the Marines, but Young is actually spending all his effort trying to micro these Dragoons. I think Cryok lost a lot more there than he should have. He does have 5 Dragoons only, 1 shuttle, 24 probes. Meanwhile, 7 Marines, 33 SCVs, and 3 turrets. So a 9 worker advantage for Cryok. And now the Reaver is finally out. And I'm sure that he has been loaded into this shuttle after queuing up a few Scarabs here. And the shuttle upgrade is about to finish up. Now, should Young wait for an additional Reaver, or should he have already sent that shuttle towards his opponent's base? Since there is no Reaver queued, he should have, even if your shuttle is slow, it is capable of moving towards a target. So don't wait around for this shuttle upgrade to finish like he did. Go ahead and move it towards your opponent to find yourself in the most advantageous position possible. So 1 Reaver Scarab does go off, and a second one too. So the SCVs are getting forced away from this natural. So 36 SCVs in total. How much lower is this count going to go? It's a 7 SCV difference right now. So it seems like it closed up a little bit. The Nexus is popping out probes, but these probes are deeming themselves useless. 39 SCVs now, so the count is actually increasing. And oh goodness, that Reaver control, horrible. It seems like the shuttle lost control of its pet and it got ran over by some tank vehicles. Not the way to go. So looking back inside of this base, it does look like another Reaver is getting prepped up, primed, and ready to go, as it can be dropped at any of these great locations. 1 turret here, it is in a decent position to cover this right side, and there is no retreating left side turret, but I'm sure Cryok will be on top of that. This is going to be really hurtful that it looks like he sent his probe over here to mine from the gas, but the gas may have not finished, or he could have misclicked. but the fact that he's not mining from this assimilator is going to hurt him very heavily in the long run. A third Nexus is coming up at the third base, and that's going to be oh so important. But we're going to watch that probe and see if it actually ends up getting any sort of scout in. So the speed shuttle on its way, bringing a Dragoon. Generally, pros like to bring in 2 Zealots instead to deal with the tanks. And, oh, he's going to lose that shuttle. Oh, this is not Young's game. This is the poor soul, the poor lad, was not able to get anything more done. In fact, these Marines would have cleaned it up anyway. So if you think he may have just stopped and lost it to this turret, it's okay. We'll give the turret the kill. We'll accept that. Young's got to understand that, you know, Crayak had a great defensive position there with his Marines. There was no way he would have survived that. So putting the forge at the front, generally you see triple pylon at the front. And is a double pylon going to be enough with this forge to be able to block off the ramp? I've never seen that before, but I would imagine 2 more pylons. Can they actually fit there? You might only be able to fit 1 more pylon. Some of you Gosu ramp people, I would like to hear your feedback on whether you think this is going to be blockable with a forge in that position. Meanwhile, he's still going to have to block off the right 2. And now we're seeing dropship play being a definite for Crayak, and how much damage is he going to get done once dropships come out. So 1 dropship is done, and it looks like a second one has just finished up. So where is that additional dropship? Okay, here we go. And this could be just a series of Marines and medics. Generally, you don't see a Marine medic drop. It's usually vultures, but sometimes if you get a 2 dropship worth of Marines and medics, it can be devastating. You can pick off probes pretty quick, but you can also take down pylons, which is something that you can't generally do if you do vulture drops, because their damage is so low. So what I like to see when you go for Marine medic drops is to focus down a few of these key pylons here that will power down a bunch of important buildings at once. And so this stimmen is going to be really important. He could power down this observatory, but that won't matter too much. And a nice pull by Young, so he actually does realize that this is going to happen. And taking down the observatory is going to be very important here if there's no observers made. And you can look at the count here on the left side. No observers. So vultures plus mines can equal instant death. In fact, this Nexus is going to go down really quickly here. I don't see any of the units reinforcing here. In fact, where is his army? Young only has 3 cannons. And I guess he's going to have to tap out GG. That's really unfortunate for him. And that is the end of the game. Now, Crayak has one more. He has one more replay. And we could watch that replay if you guys would like me to cast it. Or we could go into community games. But I'm thinking you guys might want another replay. Let me go get that from his PM that he sent me. And you guys can make a decision. Let's see here. Let's see, that's versus Young. Okay, so he actually does play Lesnizia deck twice. So we might be able to see Les again. I wonder if he pulls it on Les twice, that's going to increase the drama. So we got to keep it going. Load replay. And all these replays are pretty quick by Crayak. So I made sure they weren't hour long. And that's important to me. For at least this type of game. Alright, so we are watching the rematch of Crayak versus Les. So this could be pretty interesting, guys. If you missed game 1, Crayak pulled off 3 base build before gas, before Les could get 2 Stargates off of 1 base and do enough critical wraith damage to destroy Crayak. So here we are. The spawns are different, so that proves that this is the official second replay and rematch of these 2 players. So now we're looking at Crayak, who is going to be spawning at the right hand corner at this 1 o'clock position, and that's going to leave our defeated opponent from the first match. It is going to be Les, who's playing Protoss at the bottom left. So instead of a TVT, this is going to be a TVP. Very exciting to see how a Protoss player can respawn if properly scouting that this is just a wild 3 base build before gas. Guys, the reason why Crack has won so easily is because that third base hasn't been scouted. Are you learning your lesson? So once you figure out where your opponent's base is, take the time to mosey your way over to the 12 o'clock and the 3 o'clock. If your opponent's at this top 12 o'clock location, you want to look at that 3 o'clock and the 12 o'clock position and see if anything is kind of getting hidden there. Look inside the middle of the map. Just kind of refine your scout pattern, and all of a sudden, look at that. You're not losing so many stupid games. I already tried to say Les's full name. Les Ziadek. You should watch the first game where I just butchered it even more. So we're sticking with Les, and because his goddamn full name is just stupid here. And Crack is not going with a supply depot, barracks supply depot block at the natural. Instead, he is going to be doing it inside of his main base. And we are looking at the scouting probe for Les getting sent out earlier than his SCV had happened to get sent out. Meanwhile, he has the liberty of getting his assimilator a little bit earlier, than Crack. I mean, as far as the actual build goes, you know, he does want that assimilator so he can start going for the ranged upgrade of those Dragoons. Look inside this again, and this probe, it was sent out early enough that it can just waltz its way in here. And this isn't a block anyway. I don't know what I was saying, because he built the supply depot so far away from the ramp. I wonder what Crack's decision was here to build his configuration like that. So building an additional supply depot in the back, but still not going for a refinery. And this is the second game where a Protoss player has gone for the assimilator block on this Vespene Geyser. So something to point out here, is gas blocking a Terran player that important for you to waste those minerals early on, when you can instead make sure you're refining your build at home? So yes, this is the second TVP where we have a gas steal on a Fun Day Monday and Tuesday where you don't use gas until you get your 3 bases, of course. So the additional command center is being built, and Crack actually would go for his 3rd base in the last 2 games fairly quickly. So let's see if the pattern does persist for Crack here. Meanwhile, he does have the Marines. He is going to be able to take out this assimilator. And the important thing is, even if you're not going for your gas inside the main base, you'll want to eliminate this assimilator because it is a static scout. It can't run away, but of course it can give this range of view of what's going on inside of your base. So once you take it out, you can continue to build buildings back here without getting detected. So another SCV is going to be coming out here, and he is going to be getting that 3rd command center. But nope, supply depot first. The T's that he went for in the first game against Les, he did build a supply depot here first before going for the command center. And it's going to be another 100 minerals before he can get that command center up. Meanwhile, 4 Marines are going to be loading into that bunker. He does have a spare Marine here. And I like that he is building a few extra Marines because he definitely can't keep up with the army supply of a 1-base Protoss player. Or I guess the army power. But fortunately, Les is not going for 1-base timing. He did get that Nexus up and is being very passive with his Dragoons. And that's something that you never want to see as a Protoss player in PvT. It's so important. You can keep your Dragoons alive. You are faster than these Marines. So you don't have to worry about losing a Dragoon by poking in there saying, well, shoot, I made a mistake, and then run them home, let your shields recharge, and live for another day. But keeping that Dragoon at home, that's not accomplishing anything. Now he does have another Dragoon out here, and he can block the ramp if he's really concerned about that scout. And look at this. The way he positioned his gateways, it's actually going to glitch out the Dragoons as they try and make their way towards the bottom of the ramp through the natural to wherever the hell they need to go. So it's very important to understand where to put your gateways. So looking back at Cryok's 3rd base here, the command center is about to finish up. And he generally starts the refinery after his 3rd has started being constructed, which is fair enough. I said I will not take penalty points away. And how quickly will he be getting those 2 additional refineries? I'd love to see that his factory production just explodes. But this is perfect. He's going for the engineering bay first. Because while he did get an SCV up and scouted the top of this base before the Dragoons were able to kill it off, he was not able to 100% determine whether Reaver pressure would be a thing. But now Les is actually going for a Dark Templar. So if Cryok was able to see this Templar Archives, which I'm not sure that he did, if he did see it though, then he's even playing very intelligently by getting these turrets at a location where he could deal with the Dark Templar adequately. And yeah, double Dark Templar here. I guess I could have clicked the gateways on to verify what I was saying first. Nice thing about watching replay is you can verify your information a little bit earlier. And so a ComSat station is coming down too, so this is going to be easily well prepared for. Meanwhile, a little bit of a gas situation. Okay, I thought he was going to have a fourth probe going over here, but it looks like it's just one of those constructed idle probes. And we watched the Dark Templar march as they start to head towards that natural base. And they're easily going to get taken out. You must excuse me, I keep having to pause my microphone for a second. Got a dry throat going on here, but that's just the way of casting. It happens sometimes. And welcome to anybody who just joined. Happy Tuesday to you all. If you do not know that, speaking of happy, McDonald's now has a new mascot for the Happy Meal. It is the Happy Meal box with some really scary eyes on it. And if you have not seen it, it's very funny because people took to Twitter and started tweeting to McDonald's Twitter account saying, "Thanks McDonald's, I never wanted to sleep again anyway." And that was their response to actually seeing the picture of the McDonald's Happy Meal box mascot. So that's going on. Meanwhile, Burger King is actually changing their logo from "Have It Your Way" to "Be Your Own Way." And I'm not sure about that strategy either. But that's enough about the fast food game. We're about to watch this Dark Templar run up in here to this third base, realizing that Cryok's got a really nice advantage here. And can he outrange these Marines? Of course. But they'll probably unload to try and take out the Dark Templar, if Cryok even noticed. Oh, he tried to run around, maybe attempt to take out that turret. But getting one kill, not bad so far. 2 kills. And 3. Okay, it looks like he's in range. He pulls out the Marines and it easily does take it out. So back inside of his base, we usually see Cryok explode with factories, and that's exactly what's going to happen here. Meanwhile, I like the option for this starport. So we are seeing 5 factories come up very easily for Cryok, and only 3 gateways inside this Protoss player's base, Les. So the third Nexus is coming up, and he has 500, 600 gateways, or 600 minerals now. Why can he not build more gateways? He's going to need to build them to start getting a better army supply. He's actually falling behind in total supply, 61 supply to the 75 of Cryok. So if Cryok can keep the lead, get these 3 bases, and now with all these refineries, his macro is going to explode. So now we're seeing 6 factories, 3 add-ons, these machine shops, and he's not cranking out tanks. He's just hoping that he can hang on long enough and mine from these gases to be able to get 3 factories worth of tanks at a time, along with, okay, he's going for vultures. May bring in the option of Goliaths too. Barely fitting that supply depot in here. That's a pretty snug position. And an additional one here too. What I'm looking for is an armory. Okay, so he does have the armory with a +1 attack coming along inside of the natural base. Really good so far. And here comes the load up. Just 1 dropship. I like seeing the 2 dropships. Unfortunately, Cryok's not opting for it. Meanwhile, apparently Les got the memo, and it's all about hiding bases. He is taking a 4th. But Cryok, is he that smart, or is this just the location? He might end up here and then make a right-hand turn down to the, I meant like a right angle turn. He will be turning left, I guess, if you talk about orientation here. And that was so close. He actually almost saw these pylons here. And now the drop is incoming. Unloading. These probes are going to die pretty quickly here if Les does not react. And now bringing over the army supply, reacting, and Cryok says, okay, I did some damage, I got the probes pulled. I will leave my bio forces and save my dropship. And wow, okay, so these bio forces are getting healed pretty efficiently here. And he doesn't even have the armory, an armor or attack upgrade for these Marines. They did way more damage than they should have. In fact, he almost lost another Zealot too, but losing a couple Dragoons, not the best thing possible. The dropship still alive here. Nothing being produced inside of that starport. Science facility is on its way, so this is going to be a 9-factory starport science vessel timing. And I'm sure that's something that you guys have all drooled over. One in the day where you could go for a 9-fact science vessel push and just roll over your Protoss opponent here. The APM for Les staying pretty high, but Cryok, he's staying pretty efficient with his APM. While he floats around 174, and he's still getting a ton done. Now, I like that Les decided that since he built this Templar Archives, he could go for High Templar and make him useful. But more importantly, why is he going for Corsairs when he should be going? I'm just confused by this. What is that upgrade even? Did he get the wrong one? You guys are gonna have to explain that one to me. That wasn't the Disruption Web upgrade, was it? That's the only one for the Corsairs, right? That's weird. And why is he going for Corsairs instead of Arbiter play, which is what you want to do when you have the Templar Archives up? So it looks like the Vultures are coming out for harass. Unfortunately, there are observers here, and this will be good for Les. He will be able to hang in there a little bit longer. And now the push is coming along as Cryok moves out. It looked like an upgrade to the weapon of the Corsair, so it had to have been the Disruption Web. And unless I didn't know about an upgrade, a hidden upgrade here, and this is just a rollover right now. He's not even using siege mode. Yeah, but he canceled the D-Web, so he's building Corsairs, and I think he canceled the D-Web. I didn't see it. I didn't see it finish. I'm so confused here. And Les, I don't think he has the APM or micro or whatever to be able to D-Web. Oh, and he morphed an Archon. What a baby. 2 Storms would have been a lot sicker than that Archon death. No one likes to see blue balls in a PvT. Oh, and here it comes. Here it comes. The Corsair. Maybe Les was playing StarCraft 2 and he thought that was the Phoenix Graviton lift upgrade. Oh, but he's bringing them out. Okay, so he did finish the Disruption Web upgrade. Not bad. So 26, 25 probes. And GG. That's going to be it. Sweet. Thank you all for listening to Fun Day Monday on Tuesday. And that's just one part of the Brood War Weekly. We have 15 minutes until 7 o'clock, so we're going to be starting the community games early. So everybody get on IC Cup, and I will be setting out the rules. So today, here's a teaser of the few rules that I will be setting while people play in the community games. And on BGH, there will be a 15-minute, then no more mining rule in one of the BGHs. Then we will have a 3v3 mono battle. I would like to cast a Phantom. And then we will have 2v2v2 where one player can only build air and another player can only build ground. And all Terran where nukes are the only attack that you can use. And then you can use nukes and then you can use ghosts, I guess, to kill other ghosts. And then an all Zerglings BGH. And Zerglings are the only unit you could build. So those are a few of the ideas that I have thrown out there. And maybe I'll gather some more from you guys in the chat here. And let's throw up this text. Go to IC Cup, Brood War Weekly, and I guess I took 10 moonshine shots last week. I mean, that's healthy. Let me eliminate that from the thing here. I am staying sober because I'm going to the gym later today. I've got to work out and be strong. So let me put on the music that I like to play while I'm just doing some great commentary over these games. Enjoy that here. Watch a little bit of this screen. I'm going to take a water break, and then we will just jump right into more action. Hang in there tight, guys. This is Brood War Weekly.
Again and again.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to Groove Shark Broadcast to listen to Rhythm Radio. We hope you're getting all your work done. Hey, thanks for tuning in to Groove Shark Broadcast to listen to Rhythm Radio. We hope you're getting all your work done.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure who this Korean girl is, but apparently we're Facebook friends as of last night. So I've been trying to figure out what her real name is. But if you Google her, I mean, there's great results. She's obviously a beautiful girl. And then I recognize the bald dude too. I've seen him around and stuff. So you're Bourbon's saying that he's from Spot TV, so that's pretty cool. Who am I mutual friends with? Her, let's see. Let's go to mutual friends. Okay. Who else? Oh, look at all these friends. Guys, who's this? You recognize this good-looking fella? Awesome. Oh, actually, let's go back. I think, yeah, me and Movie are friends. Look at that. Repping some STX. Where's Sonic? Sonic, if you're not friends with Sonic, you're not doing it right. I forgot how to get to his name though. I used to be able to press SO to get to Sonic, even though it didn't come up with his Korean name. Look at that good looking fella. Oh, here he is, down here. Because he used to have, it used to come up as So Good, like TV or something when I searched Sonic. Yeah, badass. This is one of my favorite ones. Right here. Who's that good looking fella? Haha. Unfortunately, he doesn't get to be a Samsung Galaxy teammate or nothing. Alright, that's enough Facebooking on my stream. Sure you guys can all appreciate that. Pack that up and in. And I keep losing my Battle.net connection. Okay, here we go. I'm back. Apparently. And I need people to come on here and play. The Brood War Weekly is lacking people, apparently. Yeah, they accept everybody. Actually, only certain people will add you as a friend if you are friends with one of their friends. Like, they'll be like, oh, you're friends with Killer? Oh, okay, I will be friends with you because I was also on the same team as Killer. So that's what happens. But sometimes I get friended because they see that I'm friends with them. And like friends with one of their friends. And they're like, oh, who's this Gaijin? And I know that's a Japanese term, but I don't know the Korean term for white people. So, yeah. Actually, the majority of my friends are all Korean now. I'm sad. What's up with me? Gotta get rid of Facebook here. There we go. Close it down. Alright, does anybody want to play some StarCraft? Should I just, like, join a random game? I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't have any content. I could get on Skype real quick. Let me do that. Let me get some people from Skype to come play. I guess I should have had more prepared this week, but there's a wedding coming up. Let me put an image on here while I get prepared. Alright, adding some text to the Skype, SGS Skype group. Let's see if we can get some people from SGS to play also. Alright, later Bourbon. Good luck with your stuff. I like that everybody here is a mod. It happens like that every time. Well, I could find a random replay to cast, I guess, if no one's going to play. So let me go to icycup.com. Apparently they added some Gosu rep section. Let's see if it's any good. Oh, I got to hit that American flag. Apparently I lost my settings. Okay, let's go to the Dota. Who's doing that? Who's doing Dota? Games. StarCraft Brood War. Okay. Where's the Gosu Reps section? Gosu Reps. Lomo versus Anytime? The hell? That's cool. Oh. Okay, well, I will put one of these reps. Let's see. There's Lomo versus Anytime, Jaedong versus Deer, MVP versus Busy, Scan versus True Touch, MVP versus Dragon, MVP versus Cute. Alright, we're going to watch Jaedong versus Deer. We're going for it. Where do I download? Download now. Sweet. Alright. Replays. Alright, everybody, and let's do it. We're going to watch Jaedong versus Deer, and I'm going to cast a shit out of this replay. I hope you're ready. Alright. Let's quit this nonsense. Nonsensicalness. Alright. Bam, bam. So it looks like I have to rejoin. Already running. Okay, start. Here we go. No, I do not want to go there. Alright, everybody, welcome to a Brood War Weekly Gosu Replay exclusive. And we are going to be watching on the map Aztec. Wysong OZ versus Wysong Jaedong. Wysong OZ Deer versus Wysong OZ Jaedong. Now, Deer was on STX the last time I remember Brood War. So was he on OZ before, or Oz, however you like to pronounce it? Was he on this team? Was he on Wysong before he played for STX? I don't think so. I felt like that might be a troll name. But maybe my Brood War knowledge just isn't that great. Okay, let's bump this up to fastest speed. And Deer is obviously being the Protoss player at the 12 o'clock position. Meanwhile, we do have our beloved Zerg player, Jaedong, who we expect to just dominate in ZVP, spawning at the 8 o'clock position. And it looks like the probe is coming out already. Let me lock my mouse in so I can scroll when I need to. And look at this fun placement of the pylon over here. I like that you actually have to go up the ramp, and then you have to defend the base that's over here for your natural. Kind of a different feel to a map, probably what you guys aren't used to. But Aztec is pretty weird, and that's right. So fortunately, I can't make any jokes about spreading germs and conquistadors and Cortez destroying the Aztecs with smallpox and whatnot, because we don't have Terran in this matchup. It is a PvZ. So both these native species are just untouched by the Terran forces. That would just wreak havoc upon all. So Jaedong, what's he going for here? We see a spawning pool coming down pretty quickly. That's got to be nice for him. So spawning pool before an expansion, which means that maybe he will take a gas and go for fast speed, or just bust out 6 slings and go for an early attack. So the hatchery is going to get dropped down. So he's going pool before hatch. And how fast is this extractor going to come down? Generally something pretty important. So I do not know the date of this game. Let me see if I can find the data here. So this looks like it was added. The date of the game is November 24th, 2010. Now, Deer was definitely on STX in 2010. We can confirm that. So I think this is just kind of a trollo name going on here. And it looks like the 6 slings have been constructed and are on their way without the glorious speed upgrade. And the probe is going to be searching, finding it out. The Overlord does discover that there is not going to be a base at the bottom right, but there will be one now because Jaedong is going to build an additional hatchery there. Meanwhile, Gateway is down. 2 cannons are prepared to deal with these Zerglings, and the probes are going to block it off. So Deer is already on top of his game. But the Lings, they go for the attack. They will die eventually to these cannons to get picked off. But how many are going to get down this ramp? Oh, only 1, so that's not that scary. But if Jaedong is great, he might be able to pick off one of these pros. We know that he is a vicious Ling killer, and he will come in here and just dominate your face if you're not paying attention at all. So, Deer being very careful here. He wants to just send that probe to auto-attack the Ling to keep it on its feet. Or I guess on its toes. That's more of the better expression here. So the Cybernetics core at the front too. I actually, you know, he's building this core here so he doesn't have to build an additional pylon. But I kind of hate this core placement, because I think a ranged Hydralisk could actually attack this Cybernetics core. So you would need a forward cannon to help defend that Cybernetics core. I don't know, something weird. I'm just kind of overthinking. Maybe a lurker here too. So Aztec, it does not have a location behind here where you could go for a drop with lurkers. But this is ample area here for lurker drops if you want to ferry your overlords, your lurkers in with overlords to that main base. So something to think about, and something that could quite possibly happen. And look at that, the Zergling already picking up 2 kills. Not bad. Not bad indeed. So we're looking at 19 drones, 3 Zerglings, 3 overlords to start, and 21 probes, 1 zealot, and 2 cannons. Now there's 2 bases for the Protoss player. Meanwhile, a 3rd has been down. We saw that earlier. And it looks like a whole another slew of Lings. And the speed upgrade is going to be done soon. So these are going to be much more vicious and difficult to deal with Zerglings. And with this extractor done, he could be going for a 6 hatch type thing if he wanted to. a 6-hatch Hydra attack, because you don't need an extractor in your natural or your third until you get those additional hatcheries. And welcome. This is not day 9, but I am Bisu Dagger. I hope I can provide as much enjoyment. And so the Lings are making their way towards the top again. This is a game for 2010, and this is going to be a wall-off with just a Dragoon and a Zealot. I like to have an additional Zealot at the front here, the Dragoon in the background, because the DPS of an additional Zealot on this wall-off is so much nicer here, and that's exactly what Deer is thinking. Now that I click on the gateway, we can see that the Lings, Zealot is going to be coming out to block the Lings. But Deer has to be really careful. These Lings are poised to come in. That speed upgrade is finished up. Now we're looking inside the main base. So here's going to be the 4th hatchery in the count, and a 5th hatchery is down. So the next thing you're going to want to see is an extractor, a hatchery, and an evolution chamber, plus a Hydralisk Den. Those are the 4 components that are missing from this 6-hatch build. And so let's see if he's going to stick the 5-hatch. So the 6 hatchery does come down in this location, which will be available for him to mine later. It's going to be there for macroing and larva support right now. So now we have the additional hatchery I was talking about, the additional extractor. Now we need to look for the Hydralisk Den and the evolution chamber, which will probably give the +1 attack upgrade. And this Spire is very important here. If you guys don't know, you want the Carapace upgrade so it can deal with the Corsairs attacking. It makes the Overlords harder to kill. And you want these two Scourge here to be scouting, so that way they can see exactly what the Protoss opponent is up to. So now we're looking inside the main base here of Deer. He does have the Corsairs coming out. A Templar Archives is done, so he can go with DTs. And look at that, the Scourge, even if he does end up losing them, it's not going to be that bad. You only sink 50 gas in there to get basically a really nice scout on your opponent. So looking at the front here, we do have a Hydralisk Den, and this Sunken Colony is actually pretty common if you're feeling like there's going to be pressure from your opponent. These Lings are perfect though. If they can get up on top of this ramp, they can defend here. And this is the evolution chamber that we were looking for as the final component to this 6-hatch build. Also, generally a 3rd gas will get taken before the Hydralisks start to get pumped out, because they can be pretty gas inducive off 6 bases. So I would be pressed to see Jaedong go into the Hydralisk before he does get this gas. And now we do see the extractor does come down, and an additional creep colony too. This might actually be a spore colony. I know that he does have these Overlords here, but it would be nice if he built a spore to help defend against those Corsairs. And so we'll have to see if he's going to opt for that. The Queen's Nest behind that is going to allow him to get to that high tech, but not quite as necessary. The only reason you need to rush Hive maybe this early is if you're trying to get like +2 attack really fast. Meanwhile, there are Scourge inside of the base. Again, trying to pick off these Corsairs, but not getting the count low as Jaedong would want. And this is going to bode well for Deer, who's going to have to deal with a lot of pressure very soon here. These Lings are the only thing that are kind of maintaining map control. But with this force out here, Deer can try and get a little bit more mobile. The thing is, Jaedong's done a good job of tracking the army with his Scourge. And once again, Deer is able to just pick off the Scourge coming in. And a Spore Colony was built inside of his natural, and he did opt for that Sunken Colony instead of a Spore. But I did like that he built the Spore inside of his natural base. And this is really bad for Deer. He actually just lost quite a bit of Corsairs. And it looks like this final clump here should be able to take them out. Only 2 left, not bad. And this is a really heavy delay on Hydralisk. And so that actually makes a lot of sense if Jaedong decided that he wanted to go for heavy Muta instead of a Hydra build. So we want to look at these eggs. Maybe he misclicked and built. Why does he only have 2 Muta? Well, let's look inside of the main base. Okay, so he's building more Mutas from that main. Hive is going to get done. And what if he goes for Guardian Tech? That could be pretty cool use of his Greater Spire Hive Tech that he could possibly transition into. So the Mutas are out. Corsairs are going to be pretty important. And there's only one Stargate for Deer. He has been collecting another set of Corsairs. But if that gets trimmed down again, there could be a lot of heavy pressure on the third. And even though there are 2 cannons here, without additional R3, without this Archon and the correct placement here, Mutas could tear down this third pretty quickly, or at least pick off a lot of probes. So you want to be careful as a Protoss player where your Archon is. And the Mutas are just straight up moving in here to deal with the Corsair count. And this is pretty incredible. Jaedong being ballsy, recognizing that he took out a lot of Corsairs early on. And with one Stargate, Deer probably can't combat this. So you got to be looking for where the Archon is going to be. He's got to be pulling it in here somewhere. Okay, so the Archon is inside of the main base now. Should be able to push these Mutas away. It's very, very difficult to micro away from the Archon, and maybe if he can use the Scourge to distract swipes by putting them at the top and then attacking at the bottom with Mutas. But Deer's got to be on top of his control. That would be a very difficult move still, regardless, to go for, as long as there's target fire from that Archon and it pays attention to its mission. Meanwhile, the gas is being mined, so there's going to be 4 gas at this point. An additional hatchery coming up too. That's going to be huge. And so looking at the upgrades, there's going to be +1 carapace. And then looking inside of the main base, he's not going to be going for the Greater Spire tech. But what he is going for is +1/+1. That now, if you're not familiar with Zerg, you do have the range and then the melee upgrade. And the melee upgrade pays off, especially if you get into the late game Zerg, where Ultralisk are something that you are going to use quite effectively. So looking inside the Protoss, let's see what is available for Deer. He does have another attack upgrade. Okay, so this would be number 2. It'd be quite alarming if he wasn't able to get that first attack upgrade. And I say that because the economy hasn't been too horrible for Deer. He's been able to deal with Jaedong pretty effectively up until about a couple minutes ago. So that +1 attack is absolutely mandatory earlier in the game. The DPS on the Zealots pays off very heavily here. And now the Corsairs are taken out again. He should be able to pick this one off. And this one Archon, such a strong unit again, should be able to come in here and get swipes off on these Mutas. I don't like that Jaedong got so risky on the Muta flock. And he still has one Muta that's kind of sitting idle here, but it will get triggered by these Zealots if they decide to walk by. So kind of a cool thing here, a massive transfer with these probes, and a 4th base is going to be taken by Deer. So Deer, by all means, is actually still in a pretty decent position, and Mutas are going to be rendered way less effective as you get into the later game. And I would like to see a Dark Archon also being morphed. One Maelstrom and an Archon and the correct spot could basically deal with this pretty effectively here. It's if you're coming from StarCraft 2, Maelstrom is kind of like a non-damaging fungal. It just roots the units in place, but it does stay there long enough for you to get your units in there and do some damaging attack. Not often used, but Dark Archons are very useful against Mutaflux in the way that sometimes the amount gets so critical, you have to go for that spell ability here. Now, one thing that you got to notice is Deer's having to spend his High Templar into Archons instead of saving them up for Storm, and that's got to get pretty annoying after a while. And look at this, the transition to massive amounts of Hydras has been completed, and now this Ling Hydra mix, 1/1 attack plus the 1/1 for the Hydralisk too. So these are going to be very effective units. The +2 attack is done, but armor upgrade would be very important for Deer at this time, where I only saw one forged so far. Great micro to pull these Hydralisks back, but that was, on the other hand, a good Storm too. So +3 attack very quickly here for Deer instead. I actually disagree with that, because if your units die too quickly, then the attack is useless if you can't keep your units alive. So I like to see 1/2 before going for that +3. And especially since, if you think about it, the +1 armor will get done in half the time that the +3 upgrade will get done for the attack. So what would you rather have? Immediately good defense on your units, or would you rather have super powerful units too late, where they're pretty much destroyed? Now Jaedong is dominating his side of the map. He's actually taking an additional base here, so he's going to be up to 6 total bases. He's leaving this fresh base to be taken here. It's easier to take base, and he wants to leave that up there to mine later and see if he can get away with mining a little bit more and riskier locations further away from his army producing bases. And look at all those lurkers mixed in here. So that's something that you may not think about immediately, is that you can actually save nearby bases. They're not necessary to mine right away. As much as it says, oh, it gives you that good feeling to just have everything clumped up very easily here. And a really cool thing to know is that the defilers are just massing up energy right now. Drops are on the way, and this is going to be a total Dune drop. Meanwhile, the Death Ball push is getting gathered up for Deer inside of the middle of the map. This is going to be also scary. Like I mentioned earlier, this drop space is just crazy, and it's going to be so hard for these units to get back. Now, Deer might as well just go all in. He might as well start taking out bases and use whatever he has at home to deal with this being produced from the gateways, because I don't know that he can react to this Dune drop in time. And so now the units are getting dropped out with the Dark Swarm. It's going to render the range of these cannons inside of the Protoss main useless here, and the lurkers are going to start running wild. In fact, not a lot of visibly just melee and Hydralisk, but of Zergling and Hydralisk, sorry, but the lurkers are still in here doing a decent amount of damage. But that really wasn't that much for Jaedong. Okay, so reading this, he's actually not taking the nearby base since it's hard to defend because it's out in the open. Oh, okay. There's no back entrance here. And there is this wide ramp. I guess at this point in the game, maybe you're right. It could be harder to defend because he can't put that Sim City there. I think this one's kind of hard to defend too. I guess it doesn't matter at this point. Red Axis, you effectively proved me useless with my commentary on that statement. I'm going to side with you instead of being stubborn. So the Death Ball is pushing forward here regardless. The storms are being decent. And Deer, he does have a 157 supply versus Jaedong's 174. So it looks like the macro is still doing well. And if these High Templar get picked off and the Archons here, this strong composition is just going to get completely dwindled down. And we're not actually watching Bisu, and Bisu doesn't suck. He actually has the winning record against Jaedong, if you did not know. But of course you know, because Jaedong is the best, or Bisu's the best, and since Jaedong's the best Zerg, that makes Bisu better than Jaedong and everything else in this world. So, Deer clearly thinks that this is an easy base to take. He took it, and it looks like it's walled off fine. Tomato. And much more units getting resupplied over here at this, what would have been the third base at one point. And good use of Nidus Canals. Hey, Red Axis, how many OSLs have you won? That is the question here. So another push out for Deer as these Zealots are getting ready to find... I would like to see the Zealot forces just split up and attack a different location. I know you don't want to leave these guys completely undefended, but Deer's got to send small squads of Zealots to bases where Jaedong may not have units reinforced, because he needs to dwindle down that drone count. Also, having some shuttle play come into fruition would help out a ton. But these drops are just going to be astronomical in the amount of damage that happened here. And the Overlords are going to be leaving this this fourth base for Deer. The mining not happening is going to be pretty detrimental. The harassment inside of this main base is actually allowing it to have minerals a lot longer than you would expect. Of course, the power of the Zerg is the fact that you can have a low amount of drones mining from your main base too, and that the mineral count will last a while. So we're going 20 minutes into the game now, and the Hydralisks and the Lurkers are about to get cleaned up. Where is the Observer? There was... Okay, so there's one here that's actually not being used. Very unfortunate for Deer. Maybe he just can't see it because they're so darn hard to see sometimes. And the Lings are pushing out again with the 2-2 upgrade. and finally getting an armor upgrade for the Protoss player. But Jaedong is splitting his attack. He's actually attacking this open up base now. The cannons are taken down, and the Lings are running wild. So 124 supply for the Protoss player. Meanwhile, an almost maxed out Zerg, and these High Templar only have one storm combined between the two of them. The Zealots have to hold on a little bit longer so 2 storms can be gathered. Now there is a shuttle ready for drops. And in fact, no, drops aren't happening. I thought I saw a shuttle that would be moving down here. And that is not what's going to happen. GG for Deer. And what a game by Jaedong as he put on a clinic against a pretty solid Protoss player of Deer back in 2010. I really hope that you guys enjoyed that special replay. We were going to do community StarCraft games, but it seems like a lot of people decided they wanted to take a lazy Tuesday. So I added in that extra cast. So let's see what the atmosphere is like right now. Got a message on my phone, so I'll be right back, take a water break, and determine what will happen from here.
Does it feel like I had to lean on a snapshot from where you were born? I'm looking for your hand in the rough. You're caught in the wire. Will I lift you
Alright, I'm trying to get something to work real quick that apparently doesn't want to work. I'm gonna show you guys one last video. Just hold in there as I get this ready to go. Let's see. There we go. It's not gonna work. Hold on. Let's see. Select the region. Okay. Something weird going on here though. I don't know what that is. That's no good, right, guys? Alright, regardless, we are going to watch this. And it fits in right here. So, okay, the last special I have for you guys. If you guys don't know, go to Team Liquid and search Book of Records. And this is going to be the fastest TVT ever played on live television in Brood War. Are you guys ready? I'm ready. We're going to go into the fastest TVT in 3, 2, 1. Alright, welcome everybody as we go into a TVT from the Book of Records. This is Bisu Dagger, and we will be watching none other than Lita in the left-hand corner here. He's playing for the team Height Sparkies. This is 2009, February 19th on Neo Harmony. And then on the we're going to have the great, the powerful, the Flash. Now he is playing for the KTF Magicians. So give a round of applause if you are a Flash fan, as things are going to be getting a little bit excited here. The world's fastest TVT, it is about to begin. Slight echo. Let me see if I can fix that here. Okay, I turned that down some. Hopefully there's not too much more of an echo here. And, okay, here we go. Lita versus Flash 2009, February 19th. We are watching Lita as he spawns down at the bottom right. It looks like that's going to be Flash at the bottom left. I can't tell quite sure until they throw up the names. But this is on Neo Harmony. And something cool here, Lita's real name is Shin Sang Moon. So very neat. And he is for sure going to be the Terran at the 5 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Flash is at the 7 o'clock. And there is an SCV that is moving out for Lita. And I don't think he's very known for being a cheesy player. He actually has great builds in TVT, TVZ, everything. He's awesome. Actually, I'm not sure what he did to contribute in TVP. Maybe nothing. But there is a barracks that's out. And he is ready to go. Lita is one of those players that has such a distinct look. But he looks badass too. I really love his style and the way he carries himself. Tons of fun to watch here. And there's another SCV that's coming out. And oh my goodness, another barracks. So now we have 2 racks for Lita. And Flash, what does he have inside of his base? We have yet to see. A supply depot? Oh my goodness. So just a supply depot. And guys, let me tell you, this is something you can't see in StarCraft 2. 2 racks before supply depot is something you cannot see. This is StarCraft 1, and this is StarCraft 1 at its finest. So now finally building a supply depot inside of his main base, he will have 2 production facilities. I don't count just 1, but 2 in the middle of the map. Now Lita, he's actually scouting to the far top left-hand corner, and that's not going to be good enough. He will not find out where Flash is right away. And so Lita, he's got 2 racks, and yes, this is Lita versus Flash, if you guys aren't aware, and the Marines are out. Oh, he sent the Marine to the top right. In Flash, he actually sent out his Gosu SCV, and generally he is one of the best scouters possible. And you know what? Now that he crossed the path of that SCV, he might think that something's up. There's factory being built. There's a barracks producing Marines. Flash may have figured it out. There's a lot going down here. This is excitement at its finest. Oh, these two Marines are getting right up on this high ramp, and this is going to get really intense. The ace for KT Magicians is going to be at the mercy of Height Sparky's Lita right now. 3 Marines are in here, along with 2 SCVs. These 2 SCVs with the Marines, is he going to be able to defend right now? He almost lost his SCVs to the surround, but another Marine does come in here. 2 more now. 5 Marines against the might of the Great Flash. Can God become immortal here? And it looks like the bunker is trying to go down. Is he going to be able to finish it? Constant SCVs trying to get on top of that one crucial building. But did Lita do it? He's taken everything down. GG. GG from Flash. And Lita has taken the victory. Oh, look at the disappointment of Flash as we see our champion run out of the booth. And that is it. For those of you who don't know, Lita is retired from StarCraft 2. He is no longer playing StarCraft at this time. And that's kind of a sad thing to know. I wish he did come back to play some StarCraft 1. Oh, look at that face. Height Sparky's at its finest, guys. What a great game. And that goes down in the records book, clocked in at 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Lita versus Flash. But I feel like you guys want one more moment. I feel like you guys aren't satisfied. Oh no. What's this? It's an OSL. Sickness. Sickness. Alright, let's skip forward here.
It's definitely not the Jaedong I expected to see in the...
Oh, there's English commentary on this. We're not going to watch it. I've played it on my stream anyway. You guys have seen that one. That was Flash versus Jaedong. Okay. One more here, one more, and then I'm done. I promise I'm done this time. What? No, we don't want to do that one. That one's done on YouTube. Okay. Here's some throwback. We have on record. What? What's with all this English commentary? I didn't know we had commentators in the past. One more. PVZ. How about that? Is this Korean? No, that won't work either. That won't work. Oh, this one. Oh, okay. We will close on this because of the Bisu hate. We will be playing, we will be watching Bisu in a PvP against Pokju in the world's fastest PvP on live air. So this is during the Shinhan Pro League, and what is that? June 25th, 2007, the Hanbit Stars versus NBC Game Hero. Set number 2 on New Peaks of Beakdu 2.4. I'm sure you guys are all ready for this. Let's jump a little bit forward to where the game actually starts here. Oh, wait. They're about to show Bisu. We gotta show some Bisu. Oh, look at the hair. Oh, goodness. Look at this. Who's that scrub on the left? Alright, let's get the mouse out of the way. And here becomes the countdown. Guys, this is Bisu Dagger presenting you the world's fastest PvP. Pokju versus Bisu. It has begun. Now, spawning at the bottom left, or at the top right, that's going to be Pokju. I didn't even need to see the spawn points. I could have told you that. Now, Bisu is going to be spawning at the bottom left. They have yet to show him. And Pokju, he's not even putting his hands on his keyboard. He's that relaxed. And what is this? A probe already pulled, heading towards Pokju's base. Very interesting here. And so it looks like just 5 probes are mining from the mineral patches inside of his main. Things are savvy so far. And Bisu, this is a 2-player map, I'm assuming, because Bisu just knows exactly where he does need to go. And now there is a probe, a Bisu probe, the greatest of all types of probes. And oh, look at that. The pylon getting dropped immediately, and it will be blocking the probes from being able to continue to mine. Meanwhile, Bisu is actually harassing probes, and there is a pylon that got dropped by Pokju. And so what is Bisu going to do out of this? Is this just going to be an early pylon to stop the mining, or is he going to improve upon what he has done so far? So Bisu, he wraps around with his probe. Meanwhile, still nothing inside of his main base, and drops down a gateway. Oh my goodness. So now Pokju has a gateway inside of his main base. This is wild. A gateway does go down, but 2 gate now. Pokju, he only has 1 gate versus Bisu, who has the triangle version of the 2 gate. Where you have the 2 gates at the top, the pylon at the bottom. And look at that face. Another pylon does drop down now, and it's become very emergent to have an additional pylon inside of the main base of Pokju. But Pokju behind this, is he going to build another gateway? Oh, so the gateway is done. It cannot produce zealots though. A second gateway does come down for Pokju. But Bisu, he is ahead now on his gateway count. And the second gateway will finish up first. And now the zealots are going to be coming out. This is just clear madness. Is Bisu going to be able to pull this off? Or will Pokju be able to defend this? He does have 2 gateways, but another pylon block here. And that's going to make it so he cannot mine in the middle again. And it's going to totally screw with the mining of these probes. Pokju just in total disarray. Now the zealots are out, and they're going for an attack. Pokju not knowing what to attack. Should he go for the zealots first, or should he take out that manor pylon? And now the zealots are getting ready to attack. Pokju's zealots are trapped. He's kind of in a bad position, and not all his probes are mining optimally. This is not good at all. He's not dealing with this, and now trying to attack with his probes to get the zealot count down. It looks like one of the zealots does end up getting killed, and Pokju, he doesn't have any zealots. Meanwhile, Bisu, he has 3 total. Look at that double kill on probes as he continues to push inside the middle of that mineral line, and another zealot is out, but it is not going to be that Bisu has at this point. And it looks like not many probes are going to be left for Pokju. I think Bisu ended up losing that Gosu probe of his that started this whole thing of madness. And now there's nothing left to mine. 1 mighty zealot. Okay, 1 probe does live, but GG. And Pokju has to tap out. And the world's fastest PvP goes to Bisu in a 3-minute and 38-second game. So GG, everybody. This is a version of one of the fastest games you will ever see. Inside the book of records that you could search on the Team Liquid search bar if you want to watch more Brood War. I'll feature a few more of these. But we will also set a record by having the fastest Brood War weekly episode I have ever done to date. And so thank you so much for watching this. I'm sad that the community Brood War didn't happen. And I'm going to be very busy this weekend. I have a wedding I'm the best man for. But next weekend, I'm going to want to vent a ton. So I'm thinking if I'm around on Monday, we have Memorial Day. Monday, I will have off. Maybe we could rain check the community Brood War, and I can start really early in the day and get a lot of European people to come in. And let's just have a massive BGH marathon or something. So that's a possibility. If you guys want to join in that, do it. It should be fun. So take care, everybody. Thank you for watching. This has been a pleasure. And everybody, go and enjoy your Tuesday. If you have already started on your Wednesday, get some sleep, rest up for tomorrow, and enjoy your work day. So take care, and goodbye.